Welcome to Facts for Real videos. Chocolate is a lie, let's face it. Not everything, I mean. Real chocolate is what we call it. There are rules that can make it easier to comprehend what you're eating. Therefore, it might be either compound chocolate or chocolate. It is also delicious. By the way, that is the biggest benefit of genuine chocolate. It is manufactured from cocoa butter and cocoa mass. Sorry if the label says cocoa powder and vegetable fat. Only compound chocolate is present. The authentic one must have at least 35% cocoa solids and 18% cocoa butter. Therefore, if you have these two options, try them both at once. The compound one will probably be a little tastier for you as well. It has a number of flavorings and a miracle ingredient. First of all, it appears that fake chocolate is much more popular than real chocolate. It is also less expensive and simpler to store. Oh yes, it usually doesn't melt at normal temperature. So is white chocolate genuinely real, or just a compound? It's not even connected to chocolate whilst compound, neither. There are cocoa flakes in chocolate. White chocolate doesn't have any. It does include cocoa butter. But because cocoa butter doesn't give it, it's a little different. Real chocolate has a distinctive flavor and contains several substances that send joyful signals to our brains. White chocolate cannot replicate the effects of Nutella, as you may have suspected if you are a fan. It is hazelnut cocoa spread, as we all know. But did you ever consider how many nuts there in each jar? Each jar includes approximately 50 hazelnuts, which can seem like a lot, according to official information the firm originally gave on it. However, it only accounts for roughly 13% of the total sugar content, with palm oil dominating with 50% of the total content of Nutella. Here's a fun fact. The initial recipe contained many more nuts. The original recipe for Yen de Young's Nutella, which has undergone numerous modifications, served as inspiration. The end of the 18th century, the previous 2 centuries. It was a mixture of chocolate with 30% hazelnut paste, and at this early stage, it had several interpretations. The prototype of Nutella could be consumed as bars or as a filling for chocolates. The interpretation from the middle of the 20th century had a staggering 71.5% hazelnuts, and just approximately 19.5% chocolate, which was now shifting to another worldwide product. First things first, let's dispel a myth about coffee. No coffee is 100% decaffeinated. There are a few different ways to remove caffeine, and any coffee with at least 97% of the caffeine removed is already regarded as being decaf. The first technique uses a unique solvent. Once the caffeine is taken out, the coffee beans are washed in it. The second method is washing the solvent away. The charcoal filter or carbon dioxide used in the Swiss water treatment. Here's an interesting fact. The coffee beans in your morning brew are actually berry pits cooked with fruit. Now for some painful math, assume that you had a package of nachos or chips that cost you $10. It is basically a drink composed of berries. Do you realize that you only paid $1.40 for your snack? Research found that there is a brand selling largely air and very few chips. Where are the $8.60 that were paid for the air in the back? Not all of the bags are that airtight, so don't worry. However, there is still far more air than food. There might not be any secrets in instant noodles, but they have a really interesting narrative. Let's start by busting some myths. Instant noodles, so the story goes, were created in Japan. But since it isn't, the contemporary variant is undoubtedly Japanese. However, China is where the very first antiquated prototype was created. Those were fried noodles that were then put in soup. According to a legend, a chef once forced already cooked noodles to reboil in order to save them. He removed them from the skillet and cooked them in hot oil. The contemporary Japanese variation was created to be longer. After multiple fruitless tries, its food shelf life momofukuando. The creator came up with a way to keep noodles fresh. They underwent a variety of processing. They were initially steamed, dried, fried in hot oil, and spiced. Instant noodles were seen as a high-end item. because they are much more expensive than fresh noodles. We all enjoy lemonade, and there are currently numerous versions of this beverage. Pink lemonade has a lovely hue. There are two legends about how it was created, both of which feature circus performers, and both of which mention grape juice or additional colorants. According to the first tale, Henry a Lot, who worked for a circus, accidentally plummeted. Adding a few red cinnamon candies to the lemonade gave it that striking pink hue. Another very disgusting anecdote claims that Pete Conklin, a circus employee as well, once ran out of water for lemonade and used the water that had been used to wash the red stockings of one of his co-workers in the tub. They disintegrated and turned the water pink. Pete dubbed it strawberry lemonade and added some sugar, lemon slices, and tartaric acid. Customers liked it a lot, and his sales increased by twofold. Sorry to be the bearer of bad news. However, nachos were just created a little over a century ago. They are not a traditional Mexican dish. This meal is credited to Ignacio Anaya, also known as Nacho, who created it in the 1940s. There's a good reason why nachos exist. When Ignacio saw the regular customer was very hungry, he agreed to offer her and her three friends something unexpected. The women were and made the decision to quickly prepare a meal for them. He had to make do with what was on hand. So he obtained some tortillas, loaded them with shredded cheese, and heated them. The dish from above to enlarge it. Mamie Finnan, a devoted customer, inquired about the name of that peculiar food. Savory, he put some jalapenos on top. Ignacio spoke without deliberation. It was called the Nachos Special. Unlike any rom-com, the family of citruses has more complex love stories. Actually, it makes me think more of a dynasty-style soap opera. Due to their relative sizes, it can appear that an orange is a mandarin's father. But in truth, it's very different because lemons and limes aren't even half-brothers. There are plenty more variations between them than merely color. Grapefruit has always had the appearance of being an outsider in the family. Pomelos and sweeties will be discussed as well. They seem to be those distant relatives you barely ever meet. Then, this is their family tree. The sun is orange, the result of crossing a mandarin and a pomelo. It contains around 25% of the pomelo genome, and roughly 75% of the mandarin genome. One grapefruit is a cross between a pomelo and a sweet orange. Lemons might appear to be autonomous. But in truth, they're simply another bitter orange/citron mix, so sure. In the wild, limes that we consume are also hybrid. There are numerous evergreen trees with a variety of fruits. Despite what we may name limes, most of the limes we eat are actually grown. There are numerous other distant relatives of citrus. Like is a word you've never ever heard of. It's easy to guess that, tangelo. It is a hybrid of an orange and a pomelo. Many people confuse jello, which resembles a cross between an orange and a grapefruit, for a nut. While growing on a tree, almonds have a fleshy coating that makes them look like a peach when you open them, even though nuts should be dry. The almond seed is visible inside the inedible fleshy layer. We all know you should think twice if a strawberry fast food milkshake seems like a safe and healthy choice for you. It's estimated that a typical strawberry milkshake contains 59 components in total. The challenge is that it takes a lot of ingredients to duplicate the original strawberry flavor. That's it for today, so hey, if you pacified your curiosity, then give the video a like and share it with your friends, or if you want more, just click on these videos and stay on the Facts for Real videos.